How's it, Godzilla fans, kaiju fans, collectors, and just general people of YouTube? This is Chanzilla 1964 coming back to you with another figure review. That's right, we're going to be reviewing one of our first figures from G-Fest 2025, that being the Zero Toys, aka YMSF, Titanus Scylla figure from the Godzilla Monsterverse universe. That's right, we finally have a soft final figure of Scylla. In fact, you know what, we actually finally have an in-hand official figure. Not really, well, in my book I would consider it official, but official figure of Scylla. Like before Playmates, before Bandai, which was to be expected, before Haya, and before SH Monster Arts, and technically before, I guess, X Plus. You know, X Plus isn't really figures so much as a statue. Let me know in the comment section down below if I am wrong about that. I very well might be, but we have, point being, we have a Scylla figure. And yeah, so you know, if you all saw my spiel about G-Fest and my not unboxing but haul video from G-Fest, you'll know the story behind this, being that this is the last bunch, this is the last figure that I was waiting to find and get from the bunch of, you know, Monsterverse legendary original kaiju from the Godzilla universe. And might I say, she was well worth the wait, because she is beautiful, she is menacing, she is very crab-like. And I mean, let's just get into detail to show you guys exactly what I mean. And might I say that right off the bat, this does in fact look like a regular, you know, crab. Like, you know, paint wise and everything, which I guess we'll just do paint first. We'll do a little unorthodox here. Paint. The base vinyl looks to be this nice orange vinyl, or yeah, it looks to be this nice orange vinyl with, and there's nice, really nice, the reason why I say it looks like crap, there's really nice shading of this little beige yellow all around the body. I mean, going around here, even for the webbing, there's a little bit of that on the underside. There's a lot of it on the head, especially for Scylla's face here. There's a really nice beige color. I don't know if the camera's picking it up here. Come on, camera. But yeah, there's a lot of really nice beige shading, which is really cool to see a lighter color being used to shade a, you know, a figure out. Check that out. There's even a shading on the shell, which looks very, very nice. I mean, yeah, the shading just turned out very, very beautiful on this figure. Even though honestly, I might be getting it the other way around, because I'm really having a hard time telling if the beige is the shading for this, or if this the orange that's, you know, been painted on the beige, and then that's how it's done, because that could just as easily have been the case. Because I'm noticing that there is a bit of a darker color here for the top part of Scylla, even though that just might be added paint here, because as you can see, there is a darker orange red thing going on here for Scylla's shell and the top of her head. But besides that, you're gonna have two really nicely painted yellow eyes for Scylla, and her tendrils or her tentacles are gonna be painted in this nice pink color. And then yeah, that's pretty, I mean, paint is really, really good on this figure. I was a little worried when I saw the first images come out from Zero Toys about how paint is going to be for Scylla, but might I say, consider all worries gone, because this, like I said, paint is amazing. All the shading and everything going on here. Now the detail is even more off the charts in that, I mean, the detail for Scylla, she has all this really nice crab detail going down her legs, and really nice, comes to a really nice point here for the tip of each of her legs. Now I will say, these parts, these sections of her legs are all the same in their sculpt, which is a very smart decision by Zero Toys. Like, I mean, check out the inside here. There's this musculature, this crustacean muscle part right here for her leg, on the inside of her leg, and then some more spikes, and this thing, whatever this is supposed to be, that comes to the really nice kind of blade edge here. I mean, like I said, detail on each leg is really, really nice. And they're all, like I said, each leg is the same, which was a smart choice on Zero Toys' part. But what makes each leg look like they're positioned differently is the body itself. And I can pull all these off and show you just to prove it, but I'm not going to, because that's how I brought her back to Hawaii, is I had to take off all of her legs and bring her back with just her body and 6 legs, because, and I'll get more in depth in this in a bit, but she does tend to warp, especially in these areas here, though not necessarily just the webbing, but the part where the legs connect to the body. The plastic is a little thinner, especially on my figure, the back part here. So when I got her, this leg was kind of like this, and eventually as time went on, as the Hawaii heat took hold, the leg did go down. So if you have kind of shelves with holes in them, which like me, then you just got to be careful not how you and where you pretty much keep her. But that's besides the point. The finish off detail here, just to finish off detail before I get to the warping thing, top of the legs here have these really nice crustacean like spikes, and this other really nice crabby crustacean-ish detail. Now the real kicker here is going to be the shell for me. I really love how Zero Toys did the shell. I mean, just look at all of that spiky detail. I mean, they could have very well omitted it and left it out, but they kept it in, and they did it perfectly, in my opinion, perfectly. And they still have this more other crabby detail going along the shell, along with the spikes, along with the layering. I mean, just the layers and the scales for the shell, amazing, amazing, amazing looking. And her head does look quite nice. It's not my favorite part of the figure detail wise. I do like it, don't get me wrong, but for me the shell is my favorite part. The head is very nice in that you got this little kind of crown forming here. You got her head shell plate covering, and then you got Scylla's face, which pretty much is this little soft pinkish detail. The eyes are sculpted in as well, but it's hard to tell with the paint and the lighting's being a bit of a bitch right now. But yeah, then you got the tendrils here. Really love how the tendrils kind of layer over each other. Very, very reminiscent of the Cthulhu figure that came out from YMSF. I'm very happy they translated it over to the Scylla figure, because her, like I said, tentacles turn out very, very nice. They turn her over here, and you can see on the underside of the tentacles they have suction cup suckers, yeah. So love that little added detail by Zero Toys. And you got Scylla's mouth here, very, very nice. And since we're on the underside of Scylla, here we have the webbing detail for when we see her in the Godzilla X Kong, the New Empire. She has all this webbing, and here's the underside of her muscular, soft, crabby shell. Yeah. So that's a long explanation of detail, and just to wrap up the warping thing. Yeah, when I got my figure, for some reason this leg was up, and as I got the hair dryer, I heated it up. The leg went down back to where it's supposed to be, how it is now. So it's just something to keep in mind, that some areas where the leg meets the body, the plastic might be thinner. It might just be my copy. So if you have a copy of Scylla out there, let me know if you're having a similar issue. But it's just something to keep in mind and be careful of. But that does it for detail and paint. Amazing, 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 amazing. Now, moving on to articulation, which I technically wasn't really expecting this to have articulation. It has similar articulation to Kumanga, but due to how their legs are positioned, she has a little more playability than Kumanga, because all 6 of her legs move. Yes, all 6 of Scylla's legs do go 360. Mine's is a little weak, looser, because I popped them out to pretty much ship her. But yeah, all 6 of Scylla's legs move, and I mean, you can get her in some pretty cool poses. Like, you know, like she's walking even somewhat. Well, maybe a little less so with those legs, but definitely with the back and the front legs, you can definitely get her moving in some, you know, some action poses, somewhat. Speaking of action poses, let's move on to size comparison. And first up, I'm gonna bring out the Godzilla she fought in GXK The New Empire. Evolved Gods. Oh shit, she didn't fight Evolved Godzilla. Hang on, give me 1 second, guys. Sorry. Chanzilla, you dumb. Bam. There we go. Now we got the proper right Godzilla that she fought in the movie. That being the pre-evolved nuclear charged Godzilla. Pretty much the Godzilla from Godzilla King of the Monsters. That form, but you know, supercharged. Anyway, size comparison time. This looks right. I mean, I don't know if Scylla's smaller, or it's just the fact that she can stand on her hind legs, so Godzilla can. Oh no, this is, yeah, this is right. Yeah, this is a good size. So yeah, I mean, the smaller size doesn't exactly affect your playability at all. She sizes up perfectly, pretty much, with this Godzilla figure. If you have this figure, in terms of GXK playability, she sizes up perfectly. Here you can get her in this really cool poses. Here you can get Godzilla and ready to full on murk her, which is pretty much the only two poses you really need her in, is when she's scrapping it out with him or when she's about to get murked. But besides that Godzilla, as you saw for the Evolved Godzilla, she sizes up pretty nicely with the Evolved Godzilla as well. But let's bring out her counterparts. Her two, well, to be fair, her two main counterparts, and this is no offense to Muto Prime, but her two main counterparts from the Godzilla King of the Monsters movie, that being Behemoth, and I'm gonna move her over because you guys know who else is coming out. Our big old grandpa boy here, Methuselah. So, as you can see, she is way smaller than her Monsterverse Titan brothers. She might be taller than Methuselah, but mass-wise, she's definitely smaller. And do I think that it looks bad? Absolutely not, because she, you know, is meant to be one of the smaller kaiju, or smaller, sorry, Titans. Not kaiju, Titans in the Monsterverse. But you know, honestly, I think she sizes up perfectly with these guys. They look really, really great together. I'm really, really happy to have them all together. I'm really glad somebody finally made a goddamn figure of all of these guys, because I was kind of worried. I know we had a figure of Behemoth, really great figure of Behemoth from YMSF, might I add. But this is just a really, really awesome upgrade. I knew we were going to eventually get a figure of Scylla in some way or form. I was waiting for Playmates, but I'm glad YMSF came out with her first. But I was worried deep down we're never going to get a figure of Methuselah here, but thankfully YMSF did pull in clutch and gave us a figure of Mountain Monster, not Methuselah. Wink wink. So to have these three in my collection is like the holy grail of legendary Monsterverse Titan figures, in my opinion. Yes, I am saying that right now. To have these three in your collection is something awesome, amazing. I cannot recommend these figures enough, especially if you're a Monsterverse fan, especially, you know, if you're a fan of the legendary Godzilla, which is pretty much Monsterverse. I definitely recommend these guys. Cannot recommend them more than enough. And I definitely recommend Muto Prime here too. Sadly, she is not part of the big Monsterverse 3, even though she is definitely badass. But yeah, like I said, I definitely recommend these guys if you are considering picking them up. However, I do have to give fair warning that the aftermarket prices for these guys is ridiculous compared to the prices that you could have gotten them directly from the Zero Toys Instagram page or directly from G-Fest, which was $80 for each of these guys. That's right, $80. I paid $150 for both of these, or $150 for Methuselah, $125 for Behemoth. I only paid $80 for Scylla, and I could have gotten them all for $80, but I didn't want to wait for these two, especially Methuselah. So aftermarket prices are definitely something to watch out for. It's really up to you how much you really want to spend on these guys. I personally wouldn't spend anything more than $200, even though in the next review you're going to call me a hypocrite, because I might have done that on a certain figure that I thought was completely gone. But for these guys, I don't see these guys becoming you know, exclusively crazily hard to get in the near future. So if you haven't picked one up yet, you could possibly try and see if there is any on eBay. However, you could also wait to see if Zero Toys does eventually make more in the future, which also might be a possibility, but also might be particularly unlikely. Just saying. But with that being said, this will wrap up today's review. I hope you guys liked this video. If you guys have any questions, or if you guys think I may have missed anything, if you guys do have that kind of warping issue going on with Scylla, let me know in the comment section down below, because I kind of want to do that myself, if that was just my figure, or if it's, you know, something typical. You know, it's nothing that detracts from the figure. It's nothing crazy like the Playmates Rodan, which ridiculously falls over easily, or the Bandai Movie Monster Series King Ghidorah from Godzilla King of the Monsters 2019, yeah, 2019. Those two, they're like, it doesn't affect them that bad, or her that bad, as it does them, thankfully. So yeah, but yeah, comment section down below, pretty much, hit me up. And if you like what you see on the channel, please do be sure to hit that subscribe button. We do have choke more videos coming down the line. So that being said, this has been Chanzilla 1964 saying, till next time guys, peace.